In the previous lecture, we began to raise the question of what kind of justification is needed for a belief before it can be properly called knowledge. One answer to this question that has been suggested by some philosophers is certainty. Such philosophers have argued that if there is any room for doubt at all, then we do not have knowledge. However, this claim quickly leads to some troubling implications, since there is almost nothing that is completely beyond doubt. For example, you might believe that you are sitting in front of your computer watching a lecture right now, but are you certain that this is true? The French philosopher René Descartes posed a similar question. He said, "Here I am in my study sitting by the fire. Surely I know this with certainty," but he realized that he did not. For after all, Descartes realized, he had often had very convincing dreams that he was sitting in his study when in fact he was asleep in bed. Perhaps you have had this kind of experience as well. For example, have you ever believed that you were in school only to wake up and realize that it was all a dream? Philosophers have raised a number of other troubling skeptical possibilities as well. For example, perhaps the entire world you experience is a computer simulation. Perhaps you are nothing more than a brain in a vat plugged into a computer, interacting with other brains and vats. If you were, how could you know? The basic point here is that if we define knowledge so that it requires absolute certainty, then it will turn out that we know almost nothing, because there is always room for some doubt. So let's leave this problem aside. For our purposes, a more practical definition of knowledge is this: knowledge requires justification beyond a reasonable doubt. What this means is that if there is strong reason to doubt something, stronger than what if everything is a computer simulation, then you should not say that you have knowledge. This is a much more modest requirement than absolute certainty, yet as we will see, if we accept even this more modest requirement for justification for knowledge, it has some far-reaching implications. We'll begin to explore some of those in the next lecture.